Good evening. This is CTV News for Wednesday, June 20th. I'm Denise Douglas.
And I'm Patricia Malone. Thank you for joining us this evening. Well, bowing to pressure, President Trump signs an executive order ending the policy of taking children away from parents at the border. The event followed a protest on Capitol Hill where they called for an end to the plan.
I'm Byron Scott at the Capitol, but take a look over here. There are many protesters gathered, and they are here in opposition to President Trump's zero-tolerance policy as it relates to immigration.
It is my hope that the president who initiated this will use his power, use his pen to end it and end it now.
Congressman John Lewis was among those in the shadow of the U.S. Capitol today, protesting President Donald Trump's zero-tolerance policy on immigration. Why do you think he hasn't done that so far at this point?
I think he's using these babies, using these children as a political weapon.
At least 2,000 children have been separated from their parents as they cross the Mexican border into the U.S.
I am saddened for my country.
Representative Ruben Keywan has seen the detention centers firsthand.
And I came back disillusioned. I came back emotionally drained because I know that America is better than this. And I couldn't help but think when I was there at the border, that same border where my family and I crossed 30 years ago, that could have been me and my family.
The gathering of Democratic lawmakers included families and local activists like Gustavo Torres of Casa.
It's unbelievable. We are a beautiful country, we are a beautiful nation, and I can't believe that this president don't care about families. And we need to push him, we need to make sure that we mobilize our community, that we rally, that we have a civil disobedience, that we do whatever is necessary until this president leaves in our community.
There are two Republican immigration bills before lawmakers. One would deny citizenship to so-called dreamers. Both call for funding the border wall and restrict legal immigration. Neither has the backing of John Lewis or Congressman Al Green.
It appears that some of this compromise may be rewarding the president's bad behavior. And there is a challenge associated with rewarding him for his bad behavior because we know that his behavior is not a one-off.
What about the responsibility of Congress here?
It's the responsibility of the president.
Well, it is very likely that protests like these will continue over the next several days. This weekend, members of CASA plan to head to Texas to a detention center to see for themselves firsthand exactly what's going on. At the U.S. Capitol, Byron Scott, CTV News.
Thank you for that story, Byron. Meanwhile, Governor Larry Hogan has ordered 4 crew members from the National Guard and a helicopter immediately removed from where they are stationed in New Mexico. On his Twitter account, Hogan said in taking this action, he took this action because of the policy that had been in place having to do with separating children from their families. Other governors along the East Coast have also vowed not to deploy National Guard resources near the U.S.-Mexico border. They are just the latest in a growing chorus of political and community leaders speaking out. Here's what former Congresswoman Donna Edwards had to say about this issue.
It's immoral and it's a human rights tragedy. And I think that we don't have to wait for the Congress to do something to pass a law. We need the Trump administration to change its policy. There was a definite change of policy in April and May to detain families and separate children, toddlers, from their mothers and fathers. Well, I think if you look back to the time of the Japanese internment during World War II, it had a deep psychological impact on all of those children and families. And so I think that we could expect the same thing here. And I have to tell you, the way that the United States is being viewed around the world right now is as a human rights violator. And so I don't believe this is who we are, but we have had times in history when this has been exactly who we are, and we need to change it.
As you may know, Edwards is currently running for Prince George's County Executive along with Angela Alsobrooks, Anthony Muse, and several other candidates. One final note, governors are not the only ones taking action. Mayors from across the U.S. announced plans to travel to the Texas border on Thursday to protest Trump's former policy. County Executive Rashawn Baker also weighed in on the issue of children being separated from their parents at the border. In a statement, he said he is disgusted by the cruel and inhumane treatment of children by the federal government. Since Prince George's County has a large immigrant population, Baker also said he is concerned about the chaos that the policies could cause for people. He urged President Trump to work with Congress to quickly bring a resolution to the entire matter.
In other news tonight, drivers say they heard a boom and then a loud explosion. One person is dead tonight and several others injured after a fiery crash on the Woodrow Wilson Bridge. It happened just after 11 a.m. on the outer loop. Officials say it involved a tractor trailer and 3 construction vehicles.
First arriving units got on the scene. They found a tractor trailer that was indeed on fire, involving the diesel saddle tanks, and confirmed that there were 4 bridge workers currently working and trapped. So there was 1 bridge worker on the boom truck, operating the boom, with 3 workers in the boom truck operating underneath the bridge. All in all, we had 8